Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about how we make miniatures. The miniature effect in Photoshop is really easy to do. All you gotta do is find a picture of something that is small and then shrink something down to make it smaller. Simple, right? There's a little bit of a little more to it though. What you want to do is I've got this picture of a book that's out there, and we're just going to populate it with maybe one or two people who are sitting down. So I've got a picture of a guy who's playing the guitar here. Let's see if I can find this. I want to say it's under weather. Here we go. Let's look here. This guy, which one's bigger? This one's bigger. All right. So I found one. Now this picture here, if you notice, this is a humongous picture, right? This is a very big picture. It's good resolution. It's like 72 pixels per inch, but it's about 4 feet long. It looks like, right? If you were to print this out on a piece of paper, it would fit with this resolution on a piece of paper that was 4 feet long. So I found a picture that was equally huge. So when I put it out here, it's about the same size. It's comparable in size to this. Now, this guy right here, he's got a little bit of complicated kind of things going on. He's got this jacket that falls down past his back. He's got this little thing he's sitting on, right? So I'm going to cut out this guy just based around this. I'm going to do kind of a rough cutout, but I want you guys to see if you can't be a little more careful with it. I'm just doing this for the sake of the video. You don't have to use this picture. You can find anybody who's sitting down that you can use. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, I'll just get my lasso tool here instead of my pen tool. And the pen tool is going to be more exact. The magnetic lasso tool is definitely going to be quicker. So let me just real quick, if you want to fast forward until I get this guy isolated here, this is going to go kind of quick. Here, where's the guitar? I'm going to cut out this chord, as it were. That might be a bit too close. I have to be careful here. Oops, here we go. Okay, there's a few spots I'm going to have to clean up with maybe the pen tool or the quick mask tool. But it's like anything else, your selection is going to kind of determine how clean your image looks. He's got a lot of wispy hair here, but I'm going to remove that. And get around his guitar. I might forego getting the pegs just by virtue of time. And just cut this guy out. Go back down. There we go, up we go. I'm almost done. We started on this foot down here, so. The thing about the magnetic lasso tool is that you can't, move away from the window to like scroll down or to anything like that, because then you're gonna like start making new points. So let's see here, just about got it. Alright, so you press enter and you make a selection. Alright, so let me just clean this up real quick with the pen tool. I'm just getting close to a few places here. Alright, so we have this man selected, so if I want to like pull more selections on there, I have to right click, make a selection, and then add to the selection. And then if I want, so for instance, this little fold of his pant leg here, I want to add this back in this little fold. And I'll just, once again, make selection, add to selection. But if I want to, say for instance, clean up this little area right here, I need to make a selection outside of it. And then when I make a selection, I have to make the selection, I have to subtract from the selection, right? So you want to make sure that you just got the person, you don't have any background information selected. And this little area right here underneath his arm, where his arm meets his leg. So if you have someone who's sitting down in a weird posture, then yeah, so it's just right there. And oops. Right click, make a selection, subtract from selection in this case, so you have the lines inside there, the marching ants there. I'll leave all this stuff here. Well, yeah, I might just get a quick mask for a second here and just get a pen, and I might just sort of paint inside here just to deselect what's inside there. Remember, when you paint with black, that's how you deselect something. So I'll have that showing through. There won't be anything going on there. Back to the pen. All right, I'll clean up this little area. I don't want all this wispy hair here. All right, and then make a selection, and we'll subtract in this case. And same thing here. Now, if you look right here, what I did was I had I put too much of his ear here. So I'll hold on the control button and sort of like move this around a little bit and see if I can't. So, oops. Control click, and then move that. Control click, and then sort of move this off a little bit. Pull this in some. I'll pull this down here. All right, that's about right. Alright, so I'll make a selection and I'll subtract here, And then let's move around here. Okay, once again, pull this up. So right here, make a selection, subtract, and here we go, almost done, I would say, I imagine. I'm not sure though. Make a selection, let's subtract. Alright, and then we'll just subtract a few more places here. This one definitely needs to be subtracted. This, once again, this is, I could be a lot more exact with this if I started off with a pen tool. So let me just get more of this as well. And let's pull it down some. I'll make a selection. To it. And I think this little spot here that needs to be taken out as well. Control, move as well. Alright. And I'll just make a selection and I'll subtract. Okay, so I'll just stop it there. Alright, so with all this done, what we can do now is we can do one of two things. We can either just layer via copy, or we can just add a little layer mask to it. So add a little layer mask to it, everything else that's not selected kind of goes away, and we can just position it where we want. Now in this case, I'm going to probably do a little scaling up, just to make sure his foot's sort of like laying on this table here, and I'll put him kind of on the edge. Now that's okay, this is okay. He's there, but he doesn't look like he belongs in the picture because he is very flat in terms of his lighting, whereas there's a lot of sort of like depth to this. He's a little less, kind of almost like there's a bit of a shine on him. So what I can do is I can go over to my filter, my camera raw filter, and I can see if I can't crank up the clarity here. So let me go down here and oops, cancel. Let me just make sure I have this little area right there selected. So once again, filter, camera raw filter. And then I'll just go down to the clarity and see if I can't crank up that clarity a little bit here. That should make some of the shadows a little bit better. And let's press OK. Alright, and so if I were to like undo, you can kind of see what's happening here. You get a little more clarity, so that definitely works. And I want to say the colors are okay, but I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on this little button. If you hold it over, it says adjustment layer, or fill or adjustment layer. And so you've got the fill colors up here, and you've got the adjustments and various filters and stuff like that. So I'm going to get my brightness, I'll get my levels here, and I'll see if I can make them just a little bit darker. So, oops. Okay, here we go. So now watch this. As I'm doing this, I'm also affecting the book. I need to click this little button right here that says clip. Will affect all the layers below. So you click on that, and then now it's just going to affect the guy. And so I can just make the guy a little bit darker. I might pull his highlights down some too, just so it kind of pops out a little bit better. I'll just move this over the way. And then I want to say he looks a bit too yellow. So I'm also going to go here to my color balance, and I'm going to kind of pull this yellow down a little bit here. Once again, I'm going to clip this layer so it looks like I'm just affecting him. Right. I don't want him to turn blue, but alright, that's good. Okay, cool. Alright, so that looks good. And I'll go ahead and I'll just put in my, I'll put in some text, and I'll just say, you know, something like, you know, and I'll make that big. So go ahead and add some typography to it. And once again, in this case, let's find something that's actually a serif font, like maybe something that's sort of all caps and kind of a, you know, maybe something like this, like copperplate. If you don't have copperplate, then Charlemagne might work. This might work too, Felix titling. You can find new fonts all over the place, and in this case, I'll probably add a drop shadow to it. So let me just, I'll put this right here, and I'll add a little period, just as a last little flourish. And I'll get my period here at the end. Okay, well, I'll be honest with you there. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll just go over here to our blending options, and we can even do, so there's several ways we can get to our blending options. We can right click, we can double click, or we can hit this little button down here that says FX, and we can find blending options. I can just put like a drop shadow down here, and it'll automatically give you a drop shadow, and I can see this little drop shadow here. And so in this case, let's have it go the same direction as the book. It's kind of going straight down, and we'll just sort of like pull it straight down like so. Maybe put a little distance to it. Actually, we'll put one thing straight up. Or to the side. Alright, and so after we do this, let's do this over here. Let us duplicate this layer. Actually, what we'll do is we'll rasterize everything, rasterize the type, and we'll rasterize the layer effects, layer style. And then what we'll do is we'll duplicate it, and then we're going to flip it horizontally, or flip it vertically rather. Flip vertical. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to move it down, straight down. Hold down shift, you can move it straight down. And then what we'll do is we'll reduce the opacity slightly. Let me put it a little bit further down here. Yeah, that's fine. We'll reduce the opacity slightly. And then what we'll do is we'll get an eraser. And apply. And we'll get like an eraser that's sort of, that's like maybe 50% softness. And a little bit bigger, about half the size or so. And we'll pull the opacity down a little bit as well. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of hold down shift and go across. And see if we can't erase some of the text down here to make it look like, more like a reflection here. So, and I want to definitely turn the opacity down even further. And turn the opacity down to like maybe 20% or something like that. There we go. Oh, that's good. Alright. Okay, cool. So, find a person who's sitting down, or you can use the guy that I used, and then you can put some text on there. And, alright, cool. And just add a little reflection as well. So we'll save this as a JPEG and turn this in. Awesome stuff. Cannot wait to see you guys produce.